Oh, Michael.
Uh,
I love our Saturday mornings, man.
They're fun.
They are super fun. Not only do we get to catch up together, but we get to meet new people sometimes.
We do.
And it's a blessing. What do I got, like, really, like, evangelical right now? You're like, whoa, this podcast took a churn. Churn? The show took a churn. Hey, real quick, I just want to shout out and say thank you to the wonderful Adobe Radio for everything that you guys do for the show. To Nice Guy Digital family, you can check out their other shows here on Adobe Radio. Brett Daverin's show is going to probably be my favorite. Great morning show. Every morning, basically, here on Adobe Radio. And also, I want to thank you guys, the listeners. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know your favorite episodes. Tweet at me or the show account.
Woo.
Or Michael. Michael, you're on Twitter, right?
I am on Twitter.
Yeah. Tweet at us. We'd love to hear from you, seriously. And if you got like a couple seconds, sometimes like even a small review on iTunes or on... can you review things on Spotify? No, you can't. I don't think so. Leave us a review. Don't. Just follow us on the show. And friendly reminder that the show continues on even after the hour slot is done. You can listen to it on Spotify or download it on Apple Podcasts to listen to the full hour and a half, sometimes almost 2 hours, sometimes 6 hours. That's never happened before, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe if we get like Jocko. No, I'm kidding. That'd be way too long. Jocko's like, please end this.
I want out.
I'll do a double leg sweep to get out of here. Our guest today, you'll see her on the CW's Black Lightning in October. It was a very interesting podcast. She's super worldly, I should say. She super worldly is the best way. She's an actress, artist, and all around great person. Guys, please welcome Chantal Thuy. We're good. No technical difficulties today. That was my biggest concern. But we're doing good. Chantal, I should ask before we started. How do you pronounce your last name?
Thuy, like Tweety Bird.
Thuy.
Thuy is actually also my first name in Vietnamese. Thuy.
Thuy. That's how you do Thuy. It's your first name in Vietnamese?
How did you think it was pronounced?
Thai.
Thai. Well...
I said, no, Thai. I was...
Oh, Thai.
That's Thuy, right?
Thuy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. My oldest sister's name is Tu, Thu. Middle sister is Thy, and I'm a combination of the two.
Thuy.
Thuy.
So you said in Vietnamese, Thuy is your first name.
Yeah.
Is that normal for Vietnamese names? To have your last name first?
No, it's my stage name.
Oh, you're saying? Oh, I didn't know. I don't know.
No, so in Vietnamese, what's common is to have a middle name that's actually placed in the front of your name, your first name in the middle, and your last name at the end.
Oh.
But the way that you would say it in Vietnamese, you start with your last name and then your first name.
Wow.
So officially, it'd be Trương Mộng Thuy. Anyway.
Well, yeah. No, this is interesting to me.
No, but the thing with Asian people in general
Yeah.
is the names are usually complicated. And then at some point in their lives, mine was, my mom gave us all a French name when we were born as well.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so
right.
Chantal, Julie, and Isabel. Except that none of them are actually on our birth certificate because the name would be too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder the reasoning culturally why for that, like why there's so many names. Because like, for instance, for Middle Eastern culture, a lot of times they'll go father of, like the guy, father of Abdul or father of Jim, Very rarely will they use the actual name.
Right.
Very interesting.
I mean, like even Russians. I'm reading Uncle Vanya right now, and they all have like 5 different names.
Well,
like Sonia would be Sanja, Sonia, Sophia, or a mix of the 3.
It's crazy.
Right?
I saw from your IMDb, 3 languages, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
How many do you know?
2.5.
What's the half? What is the 3? What is the 2?
Arabic and English, but the half is Spanish.
Yalla, habibi.
That was pretty good.
I have growing up in Montreal, I had, some very good friends who taught me a couple of words. Actually, they only taught me 3. Yalla, habibi, and habibti.
Yeah.
And inshallah.
What? Inshallah?
Inshallah.
Inshallah, yeah.
God willing.
Yeah. That's not a bad accent, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love doing accents.
Yeah.
That's it.
What's your favorite accent?
I don't know. I feel a little embarrassed because I can never use it.
Oh.
I like the Brit and I like Indian.
Okay.
And I like the Vietnamese when it's off as a mockery of the accent is fun to do with friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we gonna get into accents now?
No, we don't have to. It's whatever.
What about you?
Let's see. Favorite accent? I haven't done British in a while. I really like that. I really like a good British accent.
Let's hear it.
Oh, no way. I haven't practiced it. It sounds kind of bad right now. It'd be like, hello. See, it's so bad. I don't know what to say. Like, I need lines in front of me.
Hello.
I need lines in front of me. I can't just, like, pop it out. I don't know. I'm weird like that.
Spot of tea or something.
What's
it's
that?
what?
Spot of tea or something.
A spot of tea. No, see, now this is horrible.
Oh.
Wait, hold on. Did you see if I remember lines?
Calling.
Did you hear what I was playing, Lane? Like something like that, like from like Ernest.
I did not.
Oh,
have you done Ernest?
Yeah, that's why I'm like remembering it. That's why it helps me.
I did that in theater school. We did the play, and I did Nina in the Seagull, but then they gave me like a character part.
Yeah.
And I played Miss Prism.
Mm.
It was so much fun.
Yeah. When was that?
Stella Adler. So in theater school.
When? Sorry.
8 years ago.
8 years ago. Okay, cool. Wow. Is that in New York or LA?
In New York.
How'd you like the whole program there?
I liked it.
Good.
I learned a lot, and it's like you have your tool bag and you use whatever you gain from whatever schools you go to.
Right. You might just keep it in the sweet spot right here.
What is the sweet spot?
It's like right here.
Can I just move this closer
you can
to my
move it.
sweet spot?
Yeah.
Make it my own sweet spot.
That's right. Make it your own. Just like in acting. Just like in life. Life lessons from Chantal. That could be your own podcast someday. Life lessons.
I used to have a radio.
Wait, really?
In college with a friend, but I don't talk about that.
Oh, why not?
It was called Elegantly Wasted, and we would talk about relationships and sex.
Great.
So, yeah.
Do you think that's like a taboo thing?
Well,
Or are you embarrassed from some of the stuff you
I
said?
am embarrassed. I mean,
Yeah.
we did it for like a month, so it didn't go very far. And my friend actually, she still works in radio.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I what I love about this show that I'm doing right now is the fact that it's gotten me a lot more comfortable to talk about things I used to be ashamed about.
Yeah. Like what?
Not necessarily ashamed, I guess is not the right word. More private things.
Why
like
does
about
he
my
look
family.
so surprised? You're like,
I don't know. That's just Michael's face. No, it's helped me articulate certain viewpoints I've had that I haven't been able to articulate very well. And sometimes just talking about stuff that makes me feel uncomfortable has actually made me more educated about a subject or less ignorant about it, and just giving me a different perspective on stuff.
you're still not being very specific with what subject.
I'm trying to think family stuff. My dad broke his spine. Excuse me. Earlier this summer.
Oh, geez,
and,
what happened?
He fell off a ladder.
I'm sorry to hear.
Yeah, but like maybe a couple of years ago, I would have never talked about it in public.
Yeah.
But there was so many good things that, I know that sounds weird, but so many good things that came from it.
Mm-hmm.
Our family unit got stronger. There were
By
really
talking about it in public?
Say that again?
By talking about it in public or just in general?
That the good things came out of it?
No, just
in general.
Oh, just in general.
Just in general, yeah.
I guess so. Yeah.
I guess what I am, it's what to talk about in public and then in a private sphere. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree though. Having open conversations in general is incredibly healing and
in a respectful way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the guys' night podcast we did, I got kind of drunk with the rest of my guy friends, and we did talk about past girlfriend experiences, which I would have never thought I would talk about on air. Mm-hmm. So that was a kind of like, and then my mom was listening to it, and then she was like, should I be listening to it, Wesam? And I'm like, probably not. Please turn it off. Please just stop.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I do at home, I mean, I did that last winter at my sister's cottage. You know, I think nowadays we're all on electronics. So I tried to install this, no phone zone for, an evening. We were all sitting in a circle, and I'm like, oh, let's talk, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is nice.
Your sister's cottage, and it feels like in a cottage setting it would help to do that.
Yeah, but they are all on Clash of Clans. My family's a bunch of... I have a gaming family. Yeah.
I did not expect you to say that, especially with that game. I've seen, what's it called? Commercials for it on all the other phone games I play.
I mean, I think Fortnite is now going to be probably the next game that they're picking up.
How many siblings do you have?
2 older sisters.
Oh, you're the youngest. Mm-hmm. Cool. And they're big gamers.
The oldest one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is she a professional gamer, or is it just spare time gaming?
Her and her husband work at Epic Games. So
okay, well,
they're born and bred and work in the industry.
Yeah. I have a friend who works at, I think it's Riot.
Yeah.
He gave me a tour of their campus. Oh my God.
Yeah, I think tech companies have the best cafeterias and ice cream fridges and swag.
Yeah.
Hands down.
100%.
Yeah.
It's like they create a great working environment where it's almost like, do you really want to leave work? Mm-hmm. Free coffee.
Stay
free
here
food.
forever.
Right. Make the company millions.
Billions.
Is there anything other than acting you think you would have branched off into?
Painting. When I was younger, I wanted to do something artistic, and it had started out as sketching, designer, clothing. As a 12-year-old, though, so you know how crazy, how bad the outfits were, and I studied studio arts as well, so oil painting, acrylic. And I would have wanted to do that, but I was like, oh no, let me think about it for a second. Acting would be easier. Yeah. Acting, you could actually make a living being an actor. And I thought being a painter would be far too hard. That was the logic at the time.
Yeah.
So it would have been painting or something else in the artistic profession.
You still feel a pull to that?
Yeah, I still paint.
You still paint then? Yeah. Okay, that's good.
I think it's less of a... I have a couple of paintings that are just lying around in the apartment that I need to finish. But when I get inspired, it's like I will spend the whole night, overnight painting.
Ooh, when you get inspired.
It's like a meditation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like a moving meditation almost, right? Yeah. Do you find ways you can tap into that inspiration zone? Like
being in the flow?
Yeah, like a flow state.
Yeah, I think, I'm sure you can relate as well, but there's moments on stage or, and for me, it's been especially on stage where you feel so connected to the moment that it's like you're transcending, the space and time. And if you think about that moment, it feels like yesterday. It feels more vivid than life, where you're just so connected to your imagination almost, or a feeling of timelessness.
Yes.
That, or through meditation, I think, or psychedelics when I was younger. Yeah. It's just that state of mind where you feel, you're in the flow of life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I dig that. I think the first time I experienced that was in college. I was doing a scene from Hamlet.
Yeah.
Where I'm yelling at my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I love my mom in real life, but it was the scene where I'm like yelling at her for everything. Mm-hmm. And I felt that. It was like a glowing moment, like a golden aura.
Yeah, and I think as actors, that's a moment we're constantly seeking to recreate. It feels like a high, almost, that moment of transcendence.
Yeah. I felt like the idea of betrayal in that scene was so visceral in me. It was the first time I was like, oh, how do I tap into that constantly then?
But it's not, I think that's the goal, and it's okay if we're striving for it, but it, as I've learned, it's not always achievable, and that's okay.
I probably like 60% agree with that statement.
Tell me why.
I think for me, what I found has worked for me when I'm extremely present.
Yeah.
I'm able to tap into that.
Yeah.
Now, of course, depending on what the scene is.
Exactly. You're not always given a Hamlet scene.
Right. Sometimes you're in a scene where your character the purpose is to further along the main storyline, right? So let's take like a co-star audition, which a lot of actors go through. You're not there to give like the Emmy clip performance, You're just there to say the line like, oh yeah, I saw Jim over there. Yeah. And then the detectives go and see Jim. But you can still be present and still feel connected into that moment.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a mini golden aura. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I think presence is the string that gets you to, that like absolute flow. But then I do think it's the material that you work on as well. Because when you were saying Hamlet, for me, it was, working on a King Lear scene.
Yeah.
Or working on a Chekhov scene. So I think the material really, it informs your experience as well.
Why do you think that is, man? It's all the classic
it all
works.
stems into, it's all about the writing. I think the writing of a film, television show, a play, all of it stems from, the words. Obviously, the actor creates the experience, but the words is like the Bible, right?
Yeah.
And
it's the structure.
Yeah.
The path.
And it's the life that they're asking you to live. And the depth of that life that they're asking you to live.
Yeah. I dig that. Yeah.
I am just pulling this out of my ass. But
Are you
that
really?
makes sense, right?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It doesn't sound like it's resonating with me, so.
Oh, good.
Yeah. You said you did psychedelics when you were younger. I've always been curious about them.
Oh, TMI.
TMI? All right. We don't have to talk about it.
Wait, no, that whole thing with your mom listening in,
Oh, gotcha.
I'm not ready.
You're not ready. That's okay. It's totally fine. I'm always curious what.
But here, I'll say,
yeah.
when growing up in Montreal, we were I think I ran with a crowd of very free-spirited friends who, I think in Montreal, too, is a very open-minded city where you're allowed to explore or experiment and, have a freedom of seeking out, different forms of fun.
Absolutely. And I think it's really important for people not to judge other people in a negative way whenever they don't live a certain lifestyle they live. And this is talking about probably 98% of the people. Now, if you're going around killing people, I'm going to judge you. You're a bad person.
Yeah. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah. No, I'm absolutely. But I'm and of course there's reasonings why people do the things they do. But for the most part, it's growing up, for instance.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up most of my
Oklahoma?
life in Oklahoma. How did you know that?
I read.
Oh, yeah.
I read about you.
Okay, I read about you too. Yeah, so, my parents were...
Are they immigrants?
Yeah, I was born in Syria too. So I was born in Syria. My parents were born in Syria. We immigrated to New York, and then we moved to Oklahoma.
Do you, I think there's something also with... My parents left during the war and then immigrated to Quebec. And, there is something about immigrant parents. How that their culture is completely different than ours.
Right.
And when you're talking about not judging, well, they do judge because they come from a completely different background.
Yeah. I don't think that my parents weren't judgy.
Oh, they weren't. Oh, lucky
No.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
I was going to say that I was very lucky to say that my parents, even though they had some conservative views, they were, for instance.
Oh, you had normal parents.
I wouldn't. I don't know what is normal. I'm just. What is normal? You know what I mean? No, but for instance.
Just kidding.
So, like, my parents, we grew up Druze with the Druze faith, Druze.
Shalom manishma.
What? Not Jewish.
Oh, Jews.
Druze. Druze.
What's Druze?
It's a small minority group in the Middle East. Yeah.
What is the theology?
Put it briefly, a lot of the same prophets as like Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. We believe in reincarnation only through humans, though, and a lot of the faith is based on philosophy and logic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what do you believe about God or
one God?
One God.
One God, but not like the Christian dogma of. I shouldn't say Christian dogma, but like not like an old man in the clouds kind of thing. It's a very more almost unimaginable kind of essence, all being of everything.
Do you practice?
Yeah.
Are there what would you call it? A temple, mosque, or
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Ever anywhere in the world?
There are gathering places.
Okay.
There are sacred sites, but there's not like your typical mosque or your typical.
What are your sacred sites? See how I turn this around? Now I'm interviewing you.
Yeah, I noticed that. And we're never going to talk about my parents. No, I'm kidding.
I'm sorry. I'm really interested in people's spirituality.
No, it's all
I can't
good.
help it.
No, we share a lot of the same holy sites as Christianity, Judaism, and Islam.
Okay.
Because we share a lot of the same prophets. Yeah. But I was going to say that what was so awesome about my parents was that they're like, go learn about every religion. Go learn about everything. And even question your own. Because in essence, if your principles are absolute truths, universal truths, they should withstand questioning. And that's okay to question things.
I like that. I mean, that sounds very Buddhist for me. I grew up Catholic. Actually, I went to a French Catholic school in high school where we had, you get it?
I mean, not French Catholic, but Catholic.
Yeah. I mean, we had to learn Our Father in Latin, And
that's intense.
Yeah. But at one point I rebelled against that. I'm like, I'm going to be a witch. So I studied Wicca and all these books. And then my mom, who's Catholic, she's like, she found them. She made me, she's like, you have to burn them. I threw them out.
You were rebellious.
Oh, yeah, very much. But now, in 2014, I met a Tibetan Buddhist teacher who I now study with. Mm-hmm. And now I've gone through so many different religious or spiritual phases.
Yeah.
And I think I connect the most now with this amazing teacher.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's one of the coolest things about acting that's helped me. Is just empathize with people. Thank you, Michael. Empathize with people. Because you realize like everybody comes from different life circumstances. Mm-hmm. And everybody has their own troubles, their own obstacles, their own demons. And at the end of the day, you're like, oh, okay, that's why they're making the choices they make. Because in acting, you try to figure out, like, Uta Hagen's 9 questions. Are you familiar with them?
No, please remind me.
Who am I? Where am I? What time is it? What are my given circumstances? What do I want? What do I do to get what do I want? What's in my way? There's 2 other ones. But basically, it's you're breaking down this person. Yeah. And then you apply those questions to people, and you're like, oh, that's why they make the choices they make. And again, 99% of people aren't really evil. It's just the circumstances that have happened to them make them choose certain things. And then you empathize and realize, oh, okay.
Which ones did you say again?
Uta Hagen's 9 questions.
No, which ones?
Who am I? Let's see. Who am I? What time is it? Where am I? What surrounds me? Okay, what are my given circumstances? What is my relationship? Oh, that's it, one of them. What do I want? What is in my way? What do I do to get what do I want? Yeah.
Have you watched Jack Ryan?
No, I hear it's good though.
Oh, it's great. It follows, obviously your protagonist.
John Krasinski.
Yeah, John, who has to track down,
Bears? No, I'm kidding. Could you imagine?
That's what makes it great.
He's a bear hunter. What? I thought this was a CIA thing.
Lebanese, a terrorist or whatever you want to label that.
Mm-hmm.
But it humanizes both sides in such a wonderful way by showing, this man's background and where the pain comes from, where the anger comes from stemming from like childhood to, his time living in Paris, all the way to, his family, present time. And I think it's probably one of those stories where I was reading an article where they're talking about how Middle Eastern actors are only their representation is like 1% in media, television, film, and most of the time it's as a terrorist,
right,
or something negative. But I think what the show seems to do really well is empathize with this man's story.
Oh,
and
that's
they're
cool.
wonderful actors, and it takes place. I'm only up to episode 5 or 6, and they go from like Syria to, I think it's Syria, to France, to the States. So they go through all of those languages as well, and I love when I hear like people speaking French.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Yeah, you should check it out.
I will. That makes me more inclined to check it out. I have a really bad time about checking out TV shows.
I
and
know,
movies.
me too, because I binge and it's on auto. It's auto play, and I'm like, oh, just one more. Oh, okay. It's like 3:00 in the morning, but do it.
Oh, wow.
It's worth it, and it's shot really well. It feels like you're watching a film, a really fucking long film, but it feels like you're watching a film.
I saw Hereditary recently. Spoiler alerts.
No, I can't get that sound out of my head.
Really?
Even just doing it freaks me out.
Have you seen it?
I have. It's great.
Okay. We've all seen it. If you haven't seen it, too bad we're going to talk about it. Hey, man, it's a little long for me.
The film?
Yeah, I feel like certain parts are masturbatory. Like, there's a lot of fat on the film.
Honestly, I don't do well with horrors. So I was like, this half the time or like this half the time. I either have to block my eyes or my ears.
Nothing happened for like...
I don't care. It's scary. And it's always children. Like, fucking, why do they have to make kids so scary?
It really wasn't that scary, Chantal.
No, the girl gets decapitated. Oh, shit. I'm sorry.
We already said spoiler alert.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean...
And it's been out for like...
Yeah.
No, that part was really good.
I saw it months ago. You're right.
That part was such a masterclass in acting for the kid. His reaction. Oh, my God. That was probably my favorite part of the whole film because it was such a curveball. And I was like, the way he reacted in terms of like his shock, I was like, that's real. That looks real. What's the main actress's name? She was incredible.
Toni Collette?
Yeah, I think so, right? She did an amazing job. As an actor, watching the film, the best thing I got from it was like, oh, these are good master classes in acting.
Wow, I would never think of watching a horror film and thinking it was a master class in acting.
You didn't think that was
You're
good
right.
Okay. So interesting, Chantal. You've got a really interesting cadence to you.
Does it sound Canadian?
No. It's very unique to you.
Yeah.
I think she reminds... No.
Nope. You said it. It's very unique to me.
It's very unique. Yeah. Okay. Oh, my goodness.
The new Halloween looks good.
I haven't seen that. Is that good?
It hasn't come out yet.
Oh, okay.
It looks
good.
Really good.
I have to check it out. Probably not. I'm not into those.
I usually
films.
just wait till it comes out, on DVD. It's just a less intense experience, and I can handle it better.
David Wan, right?
Huh?
David Wan.
What?
One of the best horror suspense director. He did Insidious films, Conjuring.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, David, you watch this podcast. I know you do. I know he does.
You mean James?
James Wan. Sorry.
James. Yeah, I was like, who?
Now you couldn't.
No, James. Yeah, creepy puppet.
Now I'm insulted him. Do I know a David Wan? Maybe. James.
James.
Make more movies.
He is. He's doing Aquaman. He just did Aquaman.
He's doing Aquaman?
That's man, dude.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. I have to watch it. Just because
Follow
I like
him
Insidious.
on Instagram and Twitter. You get all the news.
How many people do you follow? I'm sorry. I'm going to start culling people.
What?
From my following.
You're going to start what?
Culling.
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't really keep track of how many people I follow.
You know?
No.
You know, just follow people, random people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I find them interesting, I will follow them.
Interesting. I try to keep my Twitter to people I've worked with, and then
Oh,
Instagram
see,
to
I'm
people.
not like that. I'm not that precious with it because it's in the end, I think you end up seeing like 10% of your feed anyway.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
There's some like analytics where, you end up seeing the people who are most active, or I don't know how it works, but
that's what I mean though. Like for my feed, I want to.
You don't want to see random people.
Yeah, I don't. Like I was like, oh, why am I following this person? Like, that's my Instagram. My Instagram, I actually need to cull a little bit because I like following like artists mostly on Instagram.
Oh.
Or people I like. Yeah. Very particular like that. It is what it is. Let's talk about Black Lightning a little bit at least.
Of course.
You're filming that right now in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's coming out premiering October 9th, Tuesday, October 9th, at 9 p.m.
On what channel?
The CW.
Awesome. How's it been working on the show?
It's been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the team cast. I mainly work with Nafisa, and she's an amazing actress, super, super sweet. And all the producers and everyone from the costume, Rebecca, makeup, Yolanda, like everyone is super nice. And it feels like a family. It feels like everyone has been together for a year now, year and a half. And they work really well together.
Your character has a British accent, right? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I wish. Just for fun. So I could talk like this every day. But the funny thing is, I don't think any Americans or, most British will take on American roles. But they're not going to hire like a Canadian girl or American to play a British unless you're like Emma Stone's.
Why not?
It doesn't happen very often. It doesn't happen the other way around very often. And I don't know it either because...
Sorry, just for clarification.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen for, like Americans getting casted British roles?
Yeah. It doesn't happen as often. Yeah, go.
Training.
Americans aren't... Yeah, you're right.
British,
they get the training for the American accents.
Not just that.
The other way around.
For their craft. Mm-hmm. They spend years and years and years training. Yeah. I think that's why. It's very refined. They've got a really refined craft. And this is obviously a general statement, but it's true for the most part.
And maybe also the American market is larger. So there's less of a need for Americans to go elsewhere to...
Oh, yeah, that could help. That could help as well.
To get the work.
Yeah. Do you still go to class and everything like that?
I do.
Excellent.
Because I crave working on plays. And I think growing in your craft is... I get bored of... let me not go that way, but no, I have a thirst for learning. I have a curiosity for growing and learning as much as I can.
Yeah, it's really important.
Yeah, and I just love working on plays.
Yeah. Do you ever do stuff to kind of, let's say you find things are kind of stale artistic wise? Do you ever go do different hobbies, or you do anything different to kind of find that?
I'll go watch plays. I'll go, read. I read a lot.
Other than plays and...
I'll travel. Yeah. I go home to spend time with my family and just like reconnect with me, you know, spend time with the kids. Yeah, and traveling.
Cool.
You know, anything that puts you outside of your comfort zone.
I think it's really important for an artist.
When's the last time you traveled?
Me? Last year? No, actually this summer. Back to Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah. For my dad.
Yeah.
You're talking about outside the States?
Yeah. Oh. I don't call that traveling.
Is New York City travel for work? No?
No.
No. Dubai. Ooh. Probably like a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
What did you do in Dubai?
I've got a couple uncles, a couple cousins there that work there. So.
Yeah, I heard Dubai's, incredibly fancy.
It can be.
And beautiful in its own way.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'd like to check it out.
Yeah, you should. It's the kind of place where it's fun to go for a few days, right? Mm-hmm. Like a week. And then you're like, okay, I kind of got a sense of it. Deuces.
Like Vegas.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, if you have some money to spend, it's fun, especially like go out into the desert. And
what do you do in the desert?
Camping, four-wheeling, ATV
Can
riding.
Can you sandboard?
Yeah, you can sandboard.
Ooh, I would do that.
Hang out with camels, horses, have falcons like on your arm.
Did you do all those things?
Yeah, most of them. I want to do camping though next time, like really just sleep in the desert. I think that
it gets really cold at night, but it's hot during the day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd like to do that in Morocco too.
Why Morocco?
It's French.
Oh, you really like the French culture?
No. I have a very good friend who's Moroccan as well, and she travels back and forth there very often. And you can also surf. Mm. And I like the Moroccan aesthetics.
Yeah. You like travel. Huh.
Yeah.
You like to experience the world.
I do.
If you could visit any... Oh, here's a question. I've been watching a lot of planet stuff. Here's the thing. I get stuck in YouTube wormholes, and I'll just start going through. And so the other day I was watching what happens if you were in a spacesuit that could withstand the pressure and the dangers of anything in space. What it would be like going through Jupiter. And it was mind-blowing for me. I think that's a planet I want to check out.
Jupiter's cool.
Jupiter. Yeah, any planet you would want to visit. Obviously, you wouldn't die in, but you could just check it out.
If I wouldn't die, I mean, I would go check out the planet that is emitting those sound waves. Have you guys heard about this?
Oh, no. Now you got me on. Now I'm interested.
So this was like a Twitter highlight for like a hot minute this last week. And I think it's UC Berkeley that, broke the news. And they had picked up AI. They're using AI to pick up, new sound frequency transmissions or whatever. And they found something that could very well be, extraterrestrial communication. Are you checking it out, Mike?
I'm looking at it.
This is really interesting.
So I would go there. But they're like billions of light years away.
Billions? Whoa.
I think so. Did I get my facts right, Michael?
So this is a completely different solar system.
Oh, you bet. You betcha.
I was talking about just our solar system.
Ours.
Yeah, like the classics. Neptune, Uranus.
Pluto is a planet again, kind of.
Yeah, I would go to Pluto to keep it company because we got left out for so long.
Really?
Yeah.
Pluto?
Well, yeah. Okay. It just got renamed a planet officially, right?
Oh, was it officially? I saw that there was...
Or maybe something.
I saw that there was a study that said that they were wrong to declassify it as a
so it still has been declassified.
NASA's wishy-washy with that. I don't appreciate that. Is it NASA who does that? Maybe somebody else. The Planetary Commission of Naming Planets. Planetary Commission, P and P. I don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes little things tickle me. Did you find out what it was, Michael?
Just as the particular burst comes from a dwarf galaxy more than 3 billion light years from Earth.
Oh, wow.
I read it correctly.
Who knows what that could be, though? Maybe it's like one of those neutron stars. You ever hear about those things?
I don't nerd out that much.
Okay. Well, that's the show, everybody. I'm kidding.
I'm kidding, too.
Normally, whenever that happens, I like to pull up the Homer Simpson clip where he goes, nerd.
Oh, I don't know that one.
You never seen that?
No, the only... Oh, is it from Revenge of the Nerds? They are doing it off.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
the spoof. That's spoof.
Yeah.
But yeah.
If people, oh gosh, I know you can't talk about it, but in the future, if people want to check out certain projects you're on, they could always follow you on your Twitter and Instagram. Are you really?
Yeah.
Uh,
Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.
but are you pretty like what's the word? You post all your projects upcoming and stuff
Yeah,
on there,
I do.
right? That's good.
Yep.
That's good. Are there any TV shows you'd like to work on? Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan would be fun
Could travel for that one.
because I've been watching it. I mean, I think just good writing and good material, and maybe a character that's far from me and that I haven't played before, something that's not with an Asian accent. As a specification.
Yeah. You get that? You get those auditions a lot?
I mean, I've done a few of those, and it has its value and it has its place.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like the opportunity to like just play something that is contemporary for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think that it's been getting better, the diversity issue in Hollywood?
I mean, I think this past month has been amazing, especially, I mean, looking at the Asian American films that have been coming out and how it's been received by the audience and box office.
Searching was good.
Yeah, Searching was great. Crazy Rich Asian, to all the boys I've loved before, like those 3 films with leading Asian female or male, actually. Those have done really well.
Why do you think identity is so important with people?
Because, that comes back to the talk about why representation matters is, and if you look online, you Google that, you'll see studies or like papers written on that subject, and over again, what you read and what you hear is that the media portrays, it reflects back to you what society is. Where we spend so much time on our phones, in front of a television, it reflects back to us our identity in some ways. Of course, we find our identity through our relationships and our community as we experience it, but part of it is what we see on our television or screens, and to see ourselves reflected back, to have someone that looks like us be given a voice, we feel like we are a part of that. That's why people talk about Asian Americans as like, we're not seen, we're seen in the backgrounds, and it creates a sense of not having a voice, or not being heard, not being represented.
Mm-hmm.
Or stereotyped.
Right.
Or vilified, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that important to you?
Identity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
It's just
representation. Or
representation, absolutely. Correct and respectful representation, I think, is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Truthful representation, something that really mirrors the essence of a person or a group of people.
Yeah, I mean, what was your experience like growing up in Oklahoma?
Honestly, pretty positive.
Okay.
I didn't receive a lot of racism, any backlash, anything. The community I grew up in was a somewhat small town. It wasn't like a super small town, but my parents owned a restaurant. We worked hard. We were respectful to everybody we were greeted with, as long as we were respected back. And just that's the kind of way I grew up. I was very lucky in that sense.
Yeah.
Very rarely in my life did I ever encounter any type of racism. And whenever I did, it was just like, what?
It didn't, yeah.
It's like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
Like, bye.
Yeah. What's funny is Montreal, growing up in Montreal, it wasn't even racism, but it was a language thing. It was, going to a French high school, and if I spoke English, some of the girls would be like, speak French. it was sort of this language. And in Quebec, it's sometimes not even racism, but it's something about the language.
Well, you were asking me like with identity, you know what I mean? And that's something I've been kind of more thinking about on a esoteric kind of meaning more. It's like, who really am I? You know? Yes, I was born in Syria. I was raised in Oklahoma most of my life. I've lived in LA now for 9 years. I am a different person to my parents than I am to you, than I am to Michael, than I am to my best friend, than I am to my cousins. So that's just based on perspective. So is there a real me deep down inside? Because what?
I got something for you. No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So that's something I've been kind of thinking about, as in, who am I? And so it's something like I've been meditating about. I've been trying to pinpoint, and it kind of changes too with every few months. What are you pulling up?
This is Walt Whitman. It's a little quote that I love.
Who's Walt Whitman again? I only know him from Breaking Bad.
You're kidding.
I'm kind of not kidding. That's the first time I heard of Walt Whitman. Isn't he like a philosopher, right?
Yeah, poet.
Yeah.
He wrote Leaves of Grass, and this is a excerpt from it.
That's just the way I know. I'm sorry, I don't know.
I'm not laughing
Here,
at
can
it.
you
I'm
Google
laughing
this?
at something
My phone's
else.
slow right now, and
I'm really curious to
so
what
it's
you're
a
going to show
full
me.
little. It's like a 3-line piece of this poem.
Okay. Michael, would you do the honors of reading it?
Do I contradict myself? Very well then, I contradict myself. I am large, I contain multitudes.
Don't you love that?
Do
You understand it. Of course you do. Read it again for us, Michael.
Do I contradict myself? Very well then, I contradict myself. I am large, I contain multitudes.
Okay. Sure. But at the core of that, the peeling back the onion layers, who are you? What do you become?
So that's the thing. That's the whole idea. We are everything. We are all of those things. We're and that's the thing about like the human experience. We are large. We are small. We are petty. We are brave. We are Asian. We are American. We are a spirit. We are body. Like we're all of those things, and at the same time, at the core, maybe we're essentially then none of those things. But at any point in time, we're this shifting, changing, energetic being.
Sure, absolutely, and depending on the perspective of which you're
and if
viewing
you want to be, Buddhist, you have no self. You are just, you are bathing in this nothingness.
See, sure, exactly, but I don't know for sure because the experiences you're talking about are from certain person's perspectives and life circumstances.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in essence, well, there's a truth to that. But is there an objective truth?
Well, I think that is the whole point of why religions and philosophy has been created. It's that quest for, who is me,
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So that goes back to
you're
identity.
a seeker. You're a seeker.
So that's why when I say identity, I respect and love what America has offered my family and I in terms of freedoms, in terms of opportunities. But I'm not going to pretend it wasn't built on slavery and the genocide of Native Americans at the same time. That's just a fact.
Yep.
So nationalism, not a huge thing for me growing up, especially since I believe in reincarnation with humans. Because then it's like, okay, I can die here and then be born in Vietnam.
Right.
Then what? Then you know what I mean? Like, okay, or somewhere else in the world. So then it becomes an issue of, well, like then again, who am I? I'm seeking. The answer I have to that is I don't know. I can give you a very basic answer of identity of who I am, who I think I am at the moment. But it always gets connected to me of then whenever I kind of continue that seek of who am I, but I kind of channel it towards towards God as well.
Oh my God! Sorry, I didn't think I'd lean that far back. Holy shit! I thought that fucking scared me for a second. Holy shit! I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. Chantal, you are something.
Okay, sorry.
You are something.
The worst possible moment. You were so into it. Hold on, please. Let's go back.
No, we got to keep going forward. There's no going back.
No! What do you think about God?
The moment is gone.
The moment is gone.
Please, I wanted to hear it. I really did.
What I was going to say was the fact that this is just too funny. This has been quite the interesting show. I like it. No, it's just like whenever I channel it towards God, or understanding God and appreciating the moment and trying to be of service to other people other than myself, something really interesting happens within me. There's this comfort of not knowing, of just trusting.
Surrender?
Yeah, there's this great meditation that I read in a book. Oh gosh, what was the book? It was beautiful. It was a breathing exercise in order to like really, one way to focus on the all. And that's Hermes Trismegistus. That's what he describes God as, the all. And the breathing meditation says, I breathe in, or I take in God. You breathe in, right? Mm-hmm. And then you hold your breath and you hold God in your heart. And then when you breathe out, it's like you're going towards God. And then when all the air has gone out of your lungs, you just kind of don't breathe in. You just kind of hold it there, and with no air in your lungs. And then the last line was like, you surrender to God with no air in your lungs. And I was like, oh, it's just so.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, but I guess I don't know. I'm looking. I'm seeking. I'm just trying to live a better life. Trying to help other people, have fun with it.
But I love that, because I think when
I don't know what the hell
about,
we're talking about anymore.
No, but when you're talking about identity and then finding your truest sense of identity through your experience with God and being of service, like I can completely relate to that. You know, God is, or who we are is not just, or it's not our thoughts. It's not, like.
Who we are is not our thoughts?
Yeah. Our thoughts is a construct of our experiences and everything.
Sure. Okay.
But I think that close connection to God and being in a relation with another, I think that is, it is also where I find
that helps with acting
identity.
too.
Mm-hmm.
And the surrender, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The surrender to the moment, to what will happen in the moment, to just trust. And in order to get there, it takes the class, the hard work. How much are you working on your craft? That way you're confident in your ability to just fall into the moment. Yeah, absolutely. Chantal, this has been quite the show.
That flew by.
It did.
Awesome.
We have somebody coming in soon, but
He's kicking me out.
I am. You ruined my moment. You fell back in your
sorry.
No, I'm kidding.
That chair moment. Thank God it happened at the end.
God was pulling you back. No, I'm kidding. Could you imagine? If people want to find you on the Twitter or the Instagram, where can they find you?
Okay, Instagram is Chantal Thuy, ChantalThuy. Twitter is Chantal_Thuy.
Thuy, spelled Thuy.
Thuy.
Not thigh.
No.
Can I be completely honest with you? This morning I was doing like a Instagram thing, like a story after my run.
You said Thai.
Oh, hold on, I did, but I was like, you know what? I said I'm not quite sure how to pronounce her name, but she's coming on the show. Yep, and I didn't post it.
Okay.
Because I was like, that's not respectful.
Yeah, that's okay. I would have just made fun of you.
Michael, I think that's it. I think we're good. We're done. We're good. Let's go, guys. Thanks for listening, Michael. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been another great episode. Let's thank everybody, Michael. Starting with Adam Aarons, who lives in. No, I'm kidding. I was trying to go through the entire phone book. You know that bit. Seriously, guys, what a great episode, and what a great station to be on. What a great life to be in right now. At least for me. Michael, how about you?
Things are good.
Yeah?
Except for the 5K this morning that blocked traffic.
Dude! That's what we get for living in a big city. How do you take extreme ownership of that?
I found a way around it.
There you go. Or maybe next time, call in bomb threat. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, remember that actor who got in trouble for that?
Yes.
What's his name?
I don't remember that one. I remember that happened.
He was on Silicon Valley. He called in a bomb threat.
TJ Miller.
Yes. Yes. He's gone through some tough times. I don't know where he's doing now. Anyway, Michael, how are the Cubs doing?
They're 1.5 games up on the Brewers.
Nice. Just about 600 more games to go, right? That's how
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
What?
2 weeks until the playoffs.
Oh my gosh. And then 600 games, right?
Have you ever watched basketball?
No.
It's a great movie. We'll talk about it offline.
Okay. Well, the reason why I said 600 games was, like, I know baseball, they play a bunch of games in a year, right?
162.
Jesus. 162?
Yeah.
How many weeks are there in a year?
52.
Oh, God. They're playing two. Oh, well, that's not too bad. They're playing, like, 3 games a week? 2 games a week?
They play like 4 or 5 games a week.
Hey, man. Take a break. I think they could not play as many games and it'll still have that effect, right?
Yeah.
We should tell MLB about this. Let's have the chairman and the entire board in the studio.
Rob Manfred.
Can you imagine? We have the entire board of the MLB in here. They're like, how did he get us in? How did he get us on this show?
Kidnapping.
No. With words of love. That's how. All right. Hey, thanks, guys, for listening. We're just being a bunch of silly gooses right now because we can. Thanks to Adobe Radio, to Nice Guy Digital, for all you lovely people listening. And, yeah. Hey, Michael, we out.
We out.